Join our great team. Learn more by clicking on our icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
Your information station, WTIM.
Welcome in to WTIM, your information station. It's time now for the WTIM Morning Show. Thanks so much to the sponsors that make all these conversations possible. People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville, where you always do better with Landmark. We have Matt Hart in studio with us now, Executive Director of the Christian County Economic Development Corporation. How are you today, Mr. Matt Hart?
Tim, I am great. It's always a pleasure to be with you and your listeners in the morning here. Thanks so much for having me.
Without a doubt. Always good to get an update here on the economic development within the county here in Christian, because there is so many things to talk about here. Let's get started with a real popular one, and one that a lot of folks out there want to know all about. It's the commercial industrial park in Taylorville. It sounds like some movement is being had.
There is, and we're really excited about this. We actually sold 2 more lots in the Taylorville Commercial Industrial Park. And for those who don't know, this is the parcel that is just north of the Walmart in Taylorville on Route 29. A lot of work has gone into this over the years to get that land purchased, help from the federal government and grants to help purchase that land, develop the land, put in the streets. These developments take a lot of money and a lot of planning, Tim. But you have to build things so that someday you've got a place for future businesses to come. And we're starting to see the fruits of that now. And we just sold 2 more lots. It hasn't closed yet, so we can't disclose who it is, but I can tell you it's a local business that is growing and expanding and wanted to have a presence out on Route 29 where there's 12,000 vehicles a day. And so we're really excited about this. And when I'm on next month, we should be able to make an announcement on that. But this is a company that also wants to get building this year, so that'll be great. So we should see some dirt moving in the Taylorville Commercial Industrial Park. We sold, if anyone's been out there, there's 17 lots out there, and we sold lots 6 and 7. So 6 and 7 are now sold. Unfortunately, we had another local business who was looking at lot 6 and 7. They were a little bummed out when I had to call them and tell them they were sold, but now they're looking at 2 other lots across the street. But yeah, the lots are beginning to sell. The lots are beginning to move. We should see dirt moving here in this summer. But if anyone's interested in knowing more about that Taylorville Commercial Industrial Park, they're welcome to call me anytime. They can call Brent DeMichael, who's the president of the Taylorville Development Association, who owns that. If you want to be out on the north side of Taylorville, if you want to be along Route 29 with 12,000 vehicles a day driving by your business, give us a call. We'll be happy to tell you what's still available out there and get your business out there and get you growing.
Wow. The Taylorville Industrial Park really feels like a movement into the future. It feels like a plan for the future for the city there. More expansion.
Absolutely. And that industrial park is actually structured where we can continue to grow as we continue to sell lots on there. And Tim, that's part of our job at the Economic Development Corporation. A lot of people ask, well, what does the Economic Development Corporation do? We do all of that work behind the scenes that nobody sees until there's an announcement or until there's a groundbreaking. And I'm working with companies from all over the state. We're trying to attract new companies here. We've got some companies that have come in and that are not local that have looked at that area. Again, I can't disclose who those are, but they're looking because they see something that already has the water, already has the electricity, already has all the utilities. It's on a 4-lane divided highway in Route 29. It's got great access to Interstate 55, Interstate 72. It's got access to the capital, the state capital. So it's an exciting time. There's so many things going on in Taylorville and Pana and Assumption and all throughout Christian County. And but it's scheduled to, and our plan is to sell all those lots. And once we do, or once we sell a portion of those, there is an opportunity to continue to expand that industrial park as well.
That's really exciting to hear. You mentioned you guys are doing all the behind the scenes work, the work that, you really, a lot of people have to be involved. And you even mentioned federal government and grants. So knowledge that a lot of people just don't have out there. Talk to me a little bit about that collaboration and just getting the industrial park in the first place and working behind the scenes there.
Yeah. Well, it's like and I think I've said this before on this show, the best time to grow an oak tree is 30 years ago. The second best time is today. But you have to do all of that work. If you want to have an oak tree, you've got to do the work that it takes to get that oak tree. And that takes planting, that takes being patient, having time. But you have to plant that seed and you have to water that seed and you have to take care of that sapling. And all of that happens in all of a sudden, overnight you've got an oak tree. It doesn't just happen overnight. Right. There's a lot of work that goes into that. And so, that's our job. Our job is to stay on top of the economic incentives that we have out there. And again, the area, the industrial park, as well as pretty much everything north of Langleyville Road in that area, it's in an enterprise zone, it's in a TIF district, it's in the business development district. And so there are 3 great economic tools. And that's what one of the first things people ask when they're looking at moving their business to Taylorville or building new business in Taylorville. Number 1, they want to know what's the workforce like. Number 2, what buildings do you have available? And number 3, what incentives do you have? And that's our job, is to be equipped to answer those questions, to call on those prospective companies. One company I happened to I was at another meeting in Chicago and was talking with this person, and we started talking about what we have available in Taylorville. They were very interested in it. They've toured the facility, but it's having the Economic Development Corporation out there talking to existing businesses, talking to prospective businesses, because also the number 1 lead generator for new businesses in your community is the existing businesses. So if you run a business in Pana or Taylorville or Stonington or Morrisonville, and you've got a supplier that wants to be closer to you, reach out to us. We'll find a place for them to move their business and get them closer to you.
Absolutely. And more saplings, as you like to make a, what's the word I'm looking for there? More saplings are going into the ground here with more enterprise zone expansions there, as you like to kind of mix those together.
Sure.
Talk to me a little bit about enterprise zone there.
Yeah. So we are in the process of revamping our enterprise zone. The enterprise zone that we've had in the county is a couple of years old. The last enterprise zone change was passed in 2021. Back then, or since then, the state has changed some of the laws in regards to particularly solar farms. So we had a couple of large tracts that were set aside for some of these large solar developments. Last year, the state changed the law and basically said if you're doing solar only, you don't have to. You already have the enterprise zone sales tax exemption is that key. So we were able to take, but what that does is that frees up land for us then to use in existing places, because you can only, the state law specifies how much land is available to each county. We've got consultants, thankfully, that have all that figured out for us. So we're in the process of taking out some of what was set aside for these solar farms, but that's allowed us to expand the enterprise zone in Pana. It's allowed us to expand the enterprise zone in Taylorville. It's allowed us to expand the enterprise zone in Assumption. Right now, the new subdivision going on in Assumption is utilizing this enterprise zone. And what that means is that the people building homes in Assumption are not paying sales tax on their building material. And this is completely, this is, the state wants people to develop. This is an incentive the state has designed, and the state basically saying, we don't want your sales tax money. We'd rather you develop. And so use these tools, use these keys to develop not only residential, but also businesses. And so this new enterprise zone expansion has already passed. And our enterprise zone involves both the county as well as 3 sets of local governments. It includes Taylorville, Pana, and Assumption. So everybody has to approve the same resolution when we make changes. It's been approved by the city council. It's been approved by Pana. It's been approved by Assumption. We're going to take it through the county board in March, but we're already having discussions with them. Then once that's done, then we'll have a new map for the enterprise zone. And by the way, that's going to be on our new website as well. So if anyone has questions about that, or want to know where that enterprise zone is, all that's going to be available on our website. But it's a tool so that if you have a business in this area, utilize this tool that the state has given us.
Amazing. And you talked to Taylorville, you talked to Assumption and Pana right there. It's evident to see the developments that have been happening around Taylorville, but we're not alone. Pana's been seeing these as well. Talk to me a little bit about what you've been seeing in Pana.
Yeah. A lot going on in Pana. If you haven't seen, the new Jack Flash is open in the center of town there. That's a new hub, for Pana. But a lot of other great stuff going on the north side of Pana, just west of Route 29. As if you're coming from Taylorville, as you enter Pana, you'll see their industrial park. And Great Western Products, the popcorn company, is finishing up work on their new building. They've got a grand opening scheduled for May 16th. I mean, that is number one. It looks great to see this new building out there. If you haven't been out there, I was out there last Friday. Just go take a look and see what is there, this massive building there on town that's going to employ a lot of people. But they're having their grand opening on May 16th. And then in their downtown area, with the help of Ameren, they're actually doing, I think it's about a $300,000-$400,000 project where they're putting in new light poles. And these light poles will look nice. The lights will be nice, but that pole project is beginning in June. And then they've got several businesses that are doing remodeling and revitalization. Gaucho and Gringo Bar and Grill, they're going to start reconstruction on May 1st. The Pena Plaza project is beginning soon. Taco Ray Mexican Grill, they're getting set to start a renovation at the end of May. And then on top of that, they're going to be resurfacing Route 29 and Route 51 through Pena. So yeah, Pena has got a lot of great things going on in the county as well.
Huge developments coming there to Pena. And it's so great to hear things that are going to inflict so much action there to the workforce and then to the people of the city to go out and spend dollars boosting economies. All really great things. We're speaking right now with Matt Hart, the executive director of the Christian County Economic Development Corporation. We'll be back with Matt in just a short break. My name is Tim Zalabak, your host of the WTIM Morning Show. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
Your information station, WTIM.
This is your friend in the paving business, Cousin Bill from Illinois Paving. I'm here to invite you, Christian County and surrounding area, to use us for your next paving job. We're third generation, family-owned business. We have small town values. We built this business from the ground up over many years to make Illinois Paving a regionally recognized and trusted name. We use the latest technologies to do your paving job safely and efficiently. So I'd love to talk to you. Click on the Illinois Paving icon on TaylorvilleDailyNews.com and let us do your paving job this year.
It's time to purchase or renew your 2-year golf membership at one of the area's most popular courses, Lakeshore Golf Course, just south of Taylorville. Manager Jason Boldig here, reminding you that this 2-year membership includes unlimited greens fees to all 4 of our courses for 2 years. The courses include Lakeshore Golf Course, the Oaks Golf Course, Meadowview Golf Course, and Timberlake Golf Course. The best part is the price, just $278 for 2 years and much more. Get to Lakeshore Golf Course south of Taylorville now to renew or purchase your 2-year golf membership and get in the swing.
Christian County businesses now have another way to attract customers and promote their brand. The Miller Media Group's new 36 by 72 inch two-sided electronic sign is now live in front of our Park Street studios in Taylorville. We're offering businesses the opportunity of promoting themselves to the over 11,200 drivers a day that pass our studios. Reach out to your Miller Media Group account manager now to get on board with this digital electronic sign advertising opportunity.
There's only one Central Illinois radio station that brings you the memories of the 60s and early 70s as you are cruising down the streets of your hometown. The dial position is 98.3 FM. The station is 98.3 WSVZ. From Macon to Vandalia and I-55 to I-57, cruising 98.3 plays the hits from early Elvis in the 60s to the British invasion of the Beatles, Herman's Hermits, and many more from the 1960s. Then we swing into the early half of the 1970s with artists like the Guess Who, the Doobie Brothers, and Elton John. Every song brings back something you remember about growing up. Set a button and crank up the station, playing good time rock and roll from the Tower of Power, cruising 98.3 WSVZ.
With over 8 hours a day of agriculture programming weekdays and 2 hours on Saturdays, WTIM AM, FM, and online is your ag information station. Listen by tuning in on air or online and listen to WTIM Ag podcasts anytime.
Taylorville Care Center offers therapy to help you recover and return home as quickly as possible with private rooms for rehab to home. Find out more by clicking the Taylorville Care Center icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
Your information station, WTIM.
Welcome back to WTIM, your information station. We are in the midst of the WTIM Morning Show with Matt Hart, Executive Director of the Christian County Economic Development Corporation. Thanks so much to the sponsors that make this conversation possible, People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville, where you always do better with Landmark. We talked all about Taylorville Commercial and Industrial Park, some updates there, and some Enterprise Zone expansion updates, all really great things across Christian County here. Let's talk general updates here on 2024 with the CCEDC. You guys got a new website on the way.
We do. I'm hoping to put the finishing touches on that actually tomorrow. We've been meeting with our web developer for about 6 or 7 months. That when you do a new website, and our old website, and our website's still up, because if folks want to go to our website, which is christiancountyedc.com, you'll see our old website. The information is updated, but it just doesn't look like a 2024 website. And we want to have the latest and greatest technology that's got video, that's got great pictures. We've got a lot of aerial photos and aerial drone footage that we shot last summer or last fall. And so that's going to be hopefully we're hopefully going to unveil that in the next 30 days. We've got to button that up. But some of the things that's going to be on that website is it's going to paint an accurate picture of what does it look like to live in Taylorville, what does it look to live in Pana, to live in Morrisonville, to live in Assumption, to live in Christian County, to work in Christian County, because as we have great, Tim, we were talking off air about some of the great new developments in Pana and Taylorville, and so when people are coming in here and maybe they're getting a cup of coffee at one of our new businesses, or they're grabbing a meal at one of our new businesses, and they sit down and they go, man, this would be a great place to live, or wouldn't this be a great place to move our business? And if they pull out their phone, which we all do, we want to have a website that they can look and they can see, here's what it looks like to live here. Here's what it looks like to work here. And that's the goal of our new website. Also on that website, we're going to be able to list all of the properties that we have available in Christian County, because one of the first things, or 85% of the time when someone is looking to move their business to your community, they want a building that already exists. And so we have that. And if you search the internet, you could probably find those buildings that we have available, but we want to have one central location so that when a new employer is thinking about moving to Taylorville or to Pana or to Stonington or to Christian County, they can go to one spot and see, here are all the available properties. It will take them to a link to whoever, if it's listed with the real estate agent, it'll take them to their information. But it'll be a clearinghouse, if you will, for what we have available, commercial and industrial, in Christian County.
Yeah, it's all really, really amazing things right there. Talk about a facelift right now for the CCEDC website. This whole internet thing is prevailing, and it's going to stick around. It's very important. We've learned it's the first thing you do, and it's oftentimes the first 3 links that pop up, and it's going to be really nice just to see something refreshing like that and really taking into account the entire county. Moving on to another big investment here, a $5 million one into the Taylorville Square. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, so we should see, I know we had a meeting yesterday with the mayor. They're looking at doing some of the repaving that's going to be going on in and around the Taylorville Square. A lot of other improvements going on. I know Main Street, I think, is scheduled for repaving this fall. So people are going to see a lot of investment in and around that Taylorville Square. Much of that money coming from the state, much of that money coming from the Business Development District Fund that we have here. But it's going to make, if anybody has not been to the square in Taylorville lately, you need to go, because the local businesses that have been buying buildings and reinvesting there, it's absolutely incredible. It doesn't look at all certainly not the square I grew up with. And I grew up, in the 80s and 90s, and we had great businesses there, but a lot of those included facades that had covered up the original structures. And what we're seeing now is people taking those steel facades off and really showing the beauty of these buildings. And, we probably should put together an architecture tour of downtown Taylorville, because the buildings there are absolutely fantastic. And the work that's being done by those investors is fantastic. And so we want to come alongside with state and local money to also make sure that the streets look great, that the lights look great, that everything around there looks great, because, that's one thing that is unique to any county, is your county courthouse in your square. And we want that to look as good as possible for not only our citizens, but again, those citizens who aren't here yet, they're thinking about coming here.
Yeah. It's the mixture of these local businesses taking to the square and thriving, but also revitalizing these properties that have this historic value to them. Right. I'm also hearing that new citizens might be traveling into the city, and that brings a lot of positive outcomes there. What does that mean to you when you're hearing oftentimes more residents that don't come just from Taylorville traveling just to see the square? Yeah,
well, absolutely. And it's a retention tool for economic development, because as we, the work that we're doing at CCEDC, and we have potential employers coming here, we encourage them, while you're here, go to the square. Go take a look, go grab a cup of coffee at Legendary Small Town Trading. Go, grab lunch there. Go just see what's going on there, because if they know that a community cares about their downtown area and their buildings, then it sends a message to potential employers that they'll care about you and your business as well. And it's going on in Taylorville, it's going on in Pana, it's going on in Assumption, it's going on everywhere. And we want to keep the pedal to the metal and bring those businesses that aren't here yet and those citizens that aren't here yet.
Without a doubt. Mr. Matt Hart, we're in our last minute here. Any final words for the listeners out there?
No, just I know everybody's working really hard out there. Keep doing that. We're going to keep offering these economic incentives. We did an economic incentives workshop back in January, Tim. We're going to do another one this summer as well. So stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for our website. And if anybody needs anything, help with their business or questions about expanding their business or growing their business, call us anytime, 217-565-2280. You can talk to me.
Great to hear. Another one of those seminars will be making their way to us here. And Matt, thank you so much for taking the time today.
My pleasure.
That was Matt Hart, Executive Director of the Christian County Economic Development Corporation. You've been listening to the WTIM Morning Show right here on WTIM, your information station.
The Big 870 WTIM Assumption Taylorville, 96.1 W241 CF Taylorville, 107.5 W.